Went past Detroit, that's going down, man. Storytime with legendary Jerry.
Storytime, man, with the legendary Jerry podcast. You feel me?
How you doing, man?
I'm blessed. I'm happy. We're in the A.
It just shows, I put in work, so it got to be paying off.
Storytime with the legendary Jerry. I am Jerry Clark, aka the legendary Jerry. I got my brother Newface. Newface, we
got some people.
we had the '92 Dream Team with Jordan, Bird, Magic, and now we're sitting here with the 2024 Dream Team. Ladies and gentlemen, I am super duper excited because, as you know, Storytime with legendary Jerry is all about giving people their flowers, giving people their roses, especially those here in the South, in Atlanta, that have pushed this culture forward. And we have the team, Newface, the team behind, and you see all these brothers up here are black. This company and
Talk
everything is black, 100% black owned. And now, and one of you all can correct me if I'm wrong, this is the largest, what they do, let me back up. They One Music Fest here in Atlanta and just added Togetherland in Dallas, Texas for the first year. Coming up on 15 years. 15 years. I'm going to introduce everybody. Steve Canal, Jay Carter.
Here we go.
Hey,
here we go.
OC Motown Lee, Orange County Motown Lee. OC Lee. And my boy Troy Brown, as always. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for coming on Storytime with legendary Jerry. 15 years, man. At the beginning of this journey, I know you all knew you were going to make it 15 years plus. What was some of the challenges early on? Because this is the biggest festival in the Southeast, correct? One Music Fest.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's probably the biggest festival of its kind in the nation, right? So you talk about an outdoor, multi-stage, hip hop R&B festival, black owned, 100,000 people.
100% black owned.
Yeah, man. It's hard to find that, man. It's hard to find that. It's a special place, man.
No, it really is. And I can say from being a witness for the whole 15 years, standing on the sidelines watching it, it's been very great, man, to watch you all grow this thing into what it is now. Because it's really, I mean, I've watched it even the first year in Dallas. It's everything you all touch. It just seems as though it explodes. Because the Togetherland Fest in Dallas was, I mean, Newface, we was there,
bro.
It felt like Atlanta.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, it felt like Atlanta. But this is a question.
That heat, though.
That's something. This is a question I want to ask, and I'm by far not being messy or anything. But what artists, and I'm sure there's more than one at the beginning, and any of y'all can jump in, that was acting like halfway Hollywood before this really blew up, and then had to really circle back and kind of kiss the ring per se. How many of those instances has it been? I mean, without naming them, I'm sure there has been, but you could say what situation it was where somebody had to come back around. Motown looked like he ready to jump in on that. At the beginning, before this thing blew up, it was like, y'all holler back at us.
Honestly, I don't know if we had too many brush-offs. I think we also did a good job of pacing ourselves too a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many times you'll get people saying, yeah, why don't you go on and book Drake and Rihanna and Beyonce? And, and then you got to question and ask yourself, like, even if you had the budget to book Beyonce, like, what you going to do next?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Top that.
Right. So we kind of paced ourselves. I don't think we really had any artists that was like, one.
This year we had one.
Don't throw him under the bus.
I ain't gonna throw him under the bus.
But it was the agent. It was the agent. You know what I'm saying? And it was a different. It was going to be a different. It's a different play and look for this artist. And the agent was like, "Yeah, nah, I don't think we're gonna do that. He's all right. That's cool. He'll come back around. Give it some time.
And they
But,
came back around.
Nah, this happened. This literally happened last
this-
month.
Oh, whoa.
They said new this year.
Yeah.
They talking about recently.
Yeah.
Is established, y'all. You still got artists and agents doing that shit?
Bruh.
You know what the agents look like, right?
I sure do.
They don't look like us.
They sure don't.
Okay. All right. So yeah, they don't get the culture the way we get the culture. So when some things come across their desk, sometimes they don't get it.
Yeah. What was a mistake made early in the process in the first few festivals that you look back and be like, I wish I wish we had done something different in regards to whatever it is across the board. One mistake that was made that you wish you could change up or that you really learned from.
In doing the festival, you don't really understand how expensive it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of like, in 18, my wife and I decided to build our house, and we said, all right, let's build a house. I would never build a house again, ever. Like, the screws, the doorknobs, the bolts, the cabinets, the handles, it's the same thing with a festival. People look like,
That's a
oh
great
yeah, those are
analogy.
porta potties. The porta potties cost $200,000 to put all the porta potties out there. Your security is $500,000 for security. Fencing could be $400,000. Like no one's thinking about that. Even some of the artists, y'all know, like some of these artists, they be like, that artist costs $30,000. That artist costs $1 million. You know what I mean? So I think having your budgets and all your ducks in a row and having somebody in your team to manage budget is essential.
Yeah.
I want to take it back to like the very beginning because I remember early Atlanta local magazines. I remember seeing it for the first time. I think it was One Fusion, like the first one, essentially. But what was that look like to you before you started? Like, were there other festivals? I think Music Midtown may have been around, but their lineup I couldn't connect to as much as you guys. But what was the inspiration? Like, what did that look like before you even initially? Like, how did those ideas come to fruition for you? And for the first year, did it look like what you envisioned?
So we kind of took a page out of their book. You know what I'm saying? Meaning how our culture is constantly appropriated. You know what I'm saying? Like when we looked at the landscape of like the festivals, right? The question was, why doesn't this exist in our community? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you looked at your Bonnaroo's and your Lollapaloozas and your Coachellas and even Woodstock, like it was a lot of like connectivity, unity, like community, culture, well, their culture. Actually, our culture was on stage performing, but we weren't in the audience, right? So I think it was like there's certain things that really bring people together, like joy and also tragedy, but the joy of sharing music, your culture.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Watching girls over there doing double dutch and a roller skating rink over here, or Kendrick Lamar's over here, somebody doing graffiti over here, and the smell of roadie and you know what I'm saying? Like
That's important.
where you get that?
Yeah, that's
right.
very
We
important.
need that. We need that kind of connectivity. So I think that was always the vision. It just took a lot of time and money to get it to where we wanted to get it to.
Even down to the vendors, I think you guys were meticulous and great at that. Kudos, by the way. But like the vendors look like us, the food. I mean, I think early Pinky, like look at where her and Derek are at now. Like I remember seeing their early stages, and as many times as I've been, the one thing that never gets looked over, I've never seen like a fight,
No
trauma.
incidents, man.
Never, like
no incidents.
like never.
None.
And we don't get that a lot. Like but it never gets mentioned. That's why I'm always on my page, like supporting what you guys do. And I say this a lot, like you guys, I always support artists, but personally, you guys are like superhero to me because
amen.
you work with these guys, and I'm starting to know them, but I'm seeing like it takes a lot. These phone calls that you guys do, even the story with the Dungeon family and getting that. I remember you talking about that story and what you had to go through. Could you advise like for the next generation, like what this looks like to them and the things like Jerry said, what you learned from that and moving forward, like
doing it again, but what would I do this time? Or what should they do this time?
I think the important thing that we're teaching, but we learned in the process, there was before OMF, there was segregation amongst like Black people as far as like how our musical taste and how we like. It's like, okay, this artist performing, this audience wouldn't go out, right? So if you look at our lineup, we gonna have from like the hood dope boy rapper
Mm-hmm.
all the way to the most eclectic. I mean, this year we had a African American country artist with, and so we bring in all these type of people. We bring in all these people from different demographic as far as us together, and it's showing everybody else that okay, because people didn't. If you outside looking in, they didn't think Black people can get together
Not
like
at all.
that and
Yep.
have a good time
Yep.
together, and there not be an issue. It's almost like offensive, but like when people say there was like, dang man, it was crazy. It was all love. It was like no incident. I'm like, dang, brother, like, dang. This is what people expect from us.
Yeah.
But now when they see in one music fest and they're coming and they're having a good time, we're a family. So
Oh,
we
definitely.
exude like that to the consumers. Like, we don't want you to feel like you just come in to buy a ticket. We want you to feel like you
It's
had
an
a big family
experience.
reunion. Like,
Yeah.
is that this big homecoming, this togetherness. So this is who we are. So this is what we're putting out there. So now when people come, even if there's a disagreement, you'll see people in the audience be like,
Yeah.
hey, we don't do that here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, we don't do that here. So they feel a part of it because
Mhm.
this is our thing. And they don't want to ruin it. They don't want anybody else to come in and disrupt their flow. So
Yeah, and to add on that, what people need to realize as well is words are powerful, right?
Very.
And what you project into the world, be prepared for what comes back,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what we're rooted in, when you think about what One Music Fest is, it's unity through music. And then together, and it's together. Let's bring this together, enjoy this together, right? So when you come to One Music Fest, you're coming to experience what true community is,
Mm-hmm.
right? By all of us coming together to enjoy food, to enjoy music, to enjoy art, culture, experiences. You're getting it all in one place. You know what I'm saying? And it's rare that you get that full-bodied experience, or people who actually think through the entire plan from A to Z, right? And the elements that are within it that people would enjoy. So if there's anything, is understand words are powerful. So when you're creating, when you're putting stuff out there, you have to understand what that means. And we were prepared to get that unity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Motown, this for you. I've been knowing you for at least a quarter of a century.
yeah.
And you've been very good at what you do on the music executive side, from promotions, marketing, and all that. Very good. I'm gonna say that again. How did you take that expertise from the executive side on the music and incorporate that into with what you all are doing as a team?
I mean, one thing is about relationships. Like, we know as long as you have good relationships, you're gonna always have opportunities.
Man, say it again.
You know
New
what I'm
face, how
saying?
much do I stress? I stress that to my kids and everything.
And so
That's it.
with our relationship and even with artists, there's times where like we were able to accomplish things that maybe another festival or even promoter or anything wouldn't be able to get done because of kind of the conversation. Like with the Dungeon family, we were literally able to get that done because of our relationship with Orlando, with Rico and them. Like,
Yeah.
sit down and have these certain conversations, and even to the point of getting like Dre like on stage at the time. Like, they were able, because we had this like, look, it's not really just business, it's kind of a friendship. They told us like some intricate stuff and like how to get it done. You know what I mean? Not it wasn't a conniving. They just like, look, we're gonna operate like this and we're gonna keep it pushing. 3-6 Mafia through to get them on stage. They hadn't been on stage in 19,
Together.
20 years.
Mhm.
And it was just, I called Ray and Paul because I knew them from the Ball and G days.
Yeah.
Like, man, what would it take? And it was like, it's funny that we all in a kind of good place. And I'm like, look, this is a perfect spot for y'all to get together
That was
and do
that
it.
was huge too.
You know what I'm
That was
saying?
huge.
So just the conversations, you know, and the relationship that you build through the industry, you know. So those are kind of things that work heavy, like for me.
Okay. And with Steve, with you, similar to Motown, you come from, you know, I met you originally in the corporate side. So you take those same skills. How do you implement that into, I mean, because like I said this at the beginning of the show, you look at these gentlemen, you do your background on them. This is really a dream team. Then you throw in a Teresa Sanders to that. And with everything you all are doing, man, it's, I mean, y'all making history. But you came from, you know, Steve, I met you, you was you was all in the corporate side. You take those same skills. How are you implementing your expertise into making this all one
I tell
team?
people all the time, I move with purpose, right? I went to corporate to learn how to run a $1 billion business, right? I was working off of pure talent prior to getting into corporate, because in corporate, you learn some key elements of business. You learn the importance of insights, right? And data and information and how
Which
to
is
apply.
important as fuck.
You learn how to strategize. So you're not thinking about the now, you're thinking 3 to 5 years out. What does that look like? What does the brand look like now? What does it look like 5 years later? And what are the products and services that need to be aligned 3 to 5 years later? And then I also learned the flip side, because I was on the agency side before dealing with corporate. So now I'm on the corporate side, understanding why certain decisions were being made for when I was looking to get brand dollars to activate or create something, why I was getting the no, right? And it mentally prepared me to strategize to be able to put those things together. So now when you fast forward to look at, you know, today, right, we've created an entire, you know, ecosystem of intellectual properties and consultancy for those brands, right? Where we're creating campaigns because we understand that mindset. So I was able to grasp and take all and internalize what it took to make those brands $1 billion brands.
And you bring that right into
and apply it to what we do
right
today, right? With strategy, how we talk to brands, how we prepare to talk to brands, right? How to get the money. And also the thing that the people love about us is the experience. What it takes to give them that
y'all
experience.
ain't no new jacks to this shit. None of y'all.
No, not at all. So when you look at us, it isn't something that we just one day woke up and just started doing. We all have that, you know, corporate experience, that background, dealing with corporate, dealing on the agency side, and culturally rooted, right? Like we are deeply rooted in culture. So when you put all that together, it's just a perfect storm.
And everybody, all these companies want to have their hands in our culture. And you was on the front line for years, knowing in those rooms,
100%.
in those meetings, like, okay,
That's how Jay and I met, right? Jay had his spot that was culturally embedded in music and culture that the city loved.
Yeah.
Right? But a lot of times, some of the brands, especially, you know, 10, 15, 20 years ago, a lot of brands didn't understand how our culture could directly impact their bottom line if you're not a brand that we're already hitched to, right? There's certain brands that we know. We love Heineken, we love Henny, we love Louis Vuitton, Gucci. Like they're on auto. You know,
but
they're not creating nothing new.
like that. They need to learn how to.
They need to understand and learn, and that's where we come in culture. And I'll give a perfect example, and I'll be quick with it. One of the distributors in the market here, whenever they would have meetings, it was mandated that you had to wear khakis, shoes, and a polo tucked in. You couldn't walk through the door if you weren't dressed like that for their meetings. I would come in with Jordans, sneakers, and whatever top I wanted, right? And they're like, hey, I'm like, if you want to market to me and impact your bottom line, you have to understand and appreciate this. If you don't, I will gladly turn around and walk out, right? But for those that understood and grasped it and was like, all right, let's take this somewhere. Now you're seeing their brands. I'm blocking and tackling for them. They're in the compounds. They're in the, you know, the certain establishments that they couldn't get into before because they didn't know what it was. You know what I'm saying? So there's also a key learning for them as well. And when they see that key, then it's endless of the potential of what you can do with that relationship. Especially now, 20 years later, I can make a phone call and get somebody to pick up and talk about how they can support.
Story time with the legendary Jerry. I am Jerry Clark. My brother New Face. Y'all probably wonder who this big light-skinned red nigga back here quiet with the Boston hat. But trust me, y'all, this man is the man. And all three of them up here tell you. Troy Brown, Boston native. I met Troy years ago and through one of my close mentors. And the way he described him, I was like, this dude can't really be this dope, y'all. Like Jake Motown Steel. I was like, the way Mike Ross described him was like, yo, he that nigga. And I see that that's really the truth, Troy. So
appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it.
Look, you see how quiet and you see, but they all know and we all know how important you are to making this whole ship sail, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And with your expertise, which it kind of gets thrown under the rug some with what you do, what you're great at, which I know is wearing many hats. But just let my audience know how you, with the whole team, how you fit your hands into this whole thing.
I think for me, it's my background is really in digital, right?
Yeah.
It's really digital marketing, product marketing. A lot like Steve, I come from the brand side and the agency side, which is actually how Jay and I got connected together. And building out big brand properties for brands. So Steve mentioned, one of them, which was actually two of them, which was both Hennessy and Heineken. So, we on the brand side and agency side, we had built out the Hennessy Artistry series and the Heineken Red Star Soul and Red Star Access series, which
I remember that.
There were local heroes around the country that we honored in their markets that were luminaries in their markets. Well, the Atlanta luminary was one Jay Carter and Soul Fusion. And then, as we were going around the country and we did our Atlanta stop, one of the really big years, after that year, somebody who was on the team with Jay said, I got to put you with Jay Carter in the early years. You got to meet this guy. He's got this property here.
Smart boy.
And he's looking to take it to the next level. And based upon what you're doing with the content and the digital, and, at that time we were streaming Heineken Red Star Soul to mobile phones in 2004.
Damn, that was 20 years ago?
20 years ago. We were streaming it to mobile phones and to Facebook 20 years ago. So he was like, you need to meet him. But to Steve and Jay's point, we were forward thinking then to the culture because we knew the patterns of what our people were doing. We knew the product patterns and consumptions of what we were doing, buying these phones. We had the data that said, look, we may not pay the light bill. We may pay it late. We may hold off on some other bills and pay them, but what are we going to do? We're going to buy the newest phone, right? We're going to buy the technology. At the time, we're paying for ringtones for the hottest record, right? To show up on our phone and to show folks our culture and all those things. We had the technology, the data, and all those things to show folks where we were going, right? So leveraging all of that from a cultural perspective, we're wrapping that around all of our properties. So I think the big thing for us is people see the festival and they think festival artists, it's the cool thing. Yeah, but what people also don't know is that
a lot of the moving parts.
What they don't know about though is the overarching entity that is One Venture Group. And when New Face, you said you see these activations, you see the brands and the vendors and everything else. What they don't know is how we get in the doors is what Steve is talking about. We're bringing rigor to the table, right? We've been inside brands. Jay started out in brand marketing. Mm-hmm. Steve started out in brand marketing at a major Fortune 100 company. I started out at Verizon for 13 years, launching products and services. I launched Fios. I launched ISDN. So we're bringing all of this corporate rigor and structure to the table to not only build a festival, but now we've got an asset And now we're going to brands and saying to them, you need to understand what progressive Black culture looks like, right? America's biggest export is our culture.
New Face can attest to that.
Right? So now we're saying you want to tap into our culture, but our progressive culture, because our stuff is progressive. They need to know what that means. It's not quote unquote ghetto. You said there's no fights. You have 100,000 people and there's no fights and no issues because we know what is progressive, right? We're coming from all corners. It's now hip hop, it's Afro beats, it's R&B, it's all the different subgenres of our music and our culture coming together, right? Unity through music. And how do we do that? How do we program it? What does it look like, right? People come to One Music because they expect moments that you don't see anywhere else. All those moments that you can't find to get anywhere else. And it's oh shit, remember 2016, remember 2017, remember 2018? It's all those things. And we're programming it not like we're a festival. We're thinking like marketing, content creators, curators, with that lens in mind.
I've been a New Face. I've been involved with a lot of teams, a lot of companies that I've worked with. And I'm going to say this genuinely. There's not a weak link with what y'all do, especially after hearing what you do now that everybody knows. And like I said this earlier, you throw in from Teresa to what she do publicity and what you all do. I mean this sincerely. This is a fucking dream team, man. Like y'all, there's no weak links, man. There's no weak links. None.
No.
And I want to go into, because I can't even go off my notes, because they're saying words that just spark three things with me. Motown talks about family, and you can all respond accordingly. So, and from the question, so Mo talks about family. So one of the questions with that is, how do you, in relationships, how do one person have an idea like, man, we should get this artist, but personally, you probably don't like that person musically. How does the team respond to that and come to an agreement? Secondly, Steve talks about community. One thing that's pointed out, and I go to other festivals, but the one thing I don't see what you guys did here is you have the support of the community. Andre, every mayor, which is always supportive of this. But the other part is you guys are honoring. You've honored Shaka Zulu. People are still here. Jermaine Dupri, Dallas Austin. Like, how did that come about, and why was that essential for you guys? And two, you talk about moments. Like, once you said moments, I'm thinking, man, the last time I seen DMX, your stage. The last time I seen my sister Gangsta Boo, your stage.
Yep.
Rico Wade for Dungeon Family, and then when Killer Mike brought him out on that show. So thank you, first of all, for that platform, but culture, family, moments. Can you guys respond to how important that is to you guys?
It's very important, man. It's very important. And I think Steve kind of touched on it earlier about, like words of power. You know what I'm saying? I believe in manifestation. Okay, hold on. I'm stumbling on words. But we manifest.
That FAMU education.
You know what I'm saying?
Rattler. That's that Rattler education.
Hold on now. We're going to turn these cameras off in a second. We're going to move some furniture. You're talking about FAMU. But as far as the team, man, and manifesting your team and people and relationships, I believe in energy. I believe what you put out comes back. We lightly talked about that when the cameras was off about another situation. I truly believe that. So when you say, family and how this team come together and the dream team, I think it does start with purpose. Like, you got to understand, in creating this thing, okay, maybe the first one started 15 years ago, but it's been in the works way before then. With the Soul Fusion events and Sugar Hill and building these relationships, right? Like some of these relationships, when we talk about relationships with political figures and mayors, bruh, like I was in the club partying with Dre. mayor. He was at Soul Fusion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We in there yeeking, standing on bars, taking shots. You know what I'm saying?
And now
Like,
he the mayor.
like
Now he
it's
the
it's
mayor.
the it's
Relationships,
but it's
man.
relationships,
Yeah.
man. But I also think you manifest your circles, and honestly, you know, when we talk about like even Soul Fusion, when we talk about One Music Fest, in the earliest stages, they weren't profitable. Right? I think when some people sometimes put money in front of purpose,
Yes, they do.
things get muddy and blinded and muddled a little bit, right? The you know, there was a purpose in doing the Soul Fusion event. There was a purpose when we sat down and met with Heineken in early 2000s talking about why, you know, this is the best platform if you're really trying to touch that progressive Black community, right? If you ain't talking to us, then you ain't talking about progressive Black, right?
Amen to that.
So, you know, the unity through music that's on your sleeve, New Face. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the purpose. So we could have quit 5 years ago, losing X amount of dollars. You know what I'm saying? But I think the purpose is what brought Treese to the table.
Yeah.
You know, what brought about the Steves, the Troys, and all of our bonds and our team, right? Because you are only as strong as your team.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? So I think because the purpose was first, you know what I'm saying, and it was a righteous cause to kind of create this platform for Black culture of connectivity, of showing that we're bigger than the little box that white corporate America wants to put us in. It's bigger than that. You know, we've heard that direct out of their mouths. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just gonna be ghetto. I don't know. It's a liability. Liability was the first thing I heard in 2008 when we threw out the idea of doing a festival. It's a liability. What the fuck you talking about?
No incidents.
My culture is a liability. Your little daughter, your little Becky, and you know, Brad are in their rooms listening to hip hop.
Our culture.
Our culture, digesting it every day. But we're a liability. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we kind of had a chip on our shoulder with something to prove. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when it comes to family, I think, you know, I think our purpose and why you don't see altercations and situations at the festival, I think that is also felt when you're there. You know what I'm saying? Like you feel that. Like we put purpose over profit. And I think it's felt throughout the entire grounds.
Did any of these other companies that do concerts, that do festivals, the big, I'm not going to name them, was there ever a time when you all started gaining momentum and traction? Did they try to blackball?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Then you'll have that, but then you also see they kind of change up what they do as they see.
Yeah, because I've noticed these other
To
festivals have
mimic
loosened
what-
up.
yeah,
Their
yeah, yeah.
lineups are very.
Right.
I'm like, that wasn't as urban before.
Right.
Now
Absolutely.
it's a little bit more urban. That's because of the effect the effect. cause
Because
and
before
effect.
they looked at it like, we didn't want to put this artist on here because they thought that putting this on gonna bring this element and it's going to. Then they seen it actually can happen, and it won't have those things.
Because I've been looking at some lineups. I'm not going to the last couple of years, and
You
I'm
see
like,
it, right?
it's starting to sprinkle a little bit more, and I'm like, all right, 5, 6, 7 years ago,
Even down to their rollouts.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
it's,
how they do it.
and that's
watching.
that's the effect
Yeah.
of what you all
It
do.
reminds me of like what Ice Cube describes with his big three in the NBA, like how he wants collaborative, but if you don't, but they're still watching though.
That's
like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? You like you pay attention, like
Yeah.
you said.
And y'all mentioned, of course, the key word family. You all are like family. So as with any relationship, marriages or family, there are going to be arguments. What is the what is the big what do y'all argue about? What is that one thing that causes arguments within this family?
The biggest argument that we'll probably have is like the talent argument.
Okay.
Like,
You know,
but
he West Coast.
Yeah,
No,
so
no,
he
no.
want
See,
he want
that's the
everybody
argument right
he want
there.
everybody to be from
That's not
That's
true.
all he wants.
No, because he's sensitive like that.
dog,
Yeah, he want everybody to be from
Atlanta,
LA.
dog.
That's not. Hold on.
If it was up to him, it'd be E40, Kendrick, Snoop. That'd be the whole.
That's it.
That's it.
This is
Mount
this is
Rushmore.
the-
That's
this
it.
is- This is false.
Yeah, that's it.
This is the false
He
statement.
don't like R&B
I
neither.
listen
Motown
to
don't
every,
like R&B.
no.
God
He
dog,
only
Mo.
listens to eclectic.
Oh, whoa.
You.
Whoa.
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 No, I'm telling you, nah.
Wait, hold on, Mo.
Nah, y'all.
Hold
No.
on. Eclectic?
That's it. That's
Eclectic. So like Bilal and all that.
Yeah, that's all
what-
he want. Badu, Bilal, Lauryn Hill. It ain't like Neo. He ain't with it.
Hey,
I listen to everything.
Motown. One thing for certain, one thing for sure. Motown is not lying on that. Jay has his artist.
I'm telling you.
loves.
Jay.
Crit has been on about
Who has?
Big Crit has been on about 7 One Music Fest.
So two people that said it, Jay, they can't be lying.
It's not hate.
What you not
It's
gonna
not
do
hate.
is hate on
It's
Crit.
not hate.
Hey,
Yeah.
So Jay, you want Big Crit on every show?
Every show.
Earlier, he had Chris, my guy. And guess what he had? Lauren. Badu we had one time.
Every year he would have Sade.
Who don't want to see Sade?
Shit, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true now, Mo.
No problem with that part.
Yeah.
But which one of y'all has been the advocate for the catch him down south?
Me. Not both.
Look, hey, you say I'm gone.
He's about to battle.
Yeah. What? I'm talking about the 3-6s, the 3-6s, the ball and G's, he said, look.
Now he
A
likes
nigga that went to
I'm not
fam,
saying
you
like
ain't advocating for.
No. We
I've
just
been
like,
in Atlanta since 14 years old, dog, in the late 80s.
shit.
How you telling me I'm not the advocate for some of the Southern acts?
Listen, I say this. I ain't gonna tell
See
you.
what Jerry started? Jerry
He
Yeah,
tried to
I know,
shoot a shot
my
at me,
bad.
so I had to shoot a shot back. Like we both like everybody has like their input, and we gonna have like some artists. We be like, yo, let's do this, and then everybody else will be like, nah. And then we have artists that, like for instance, like Crit. He loved Crit.
I love Big Crit too.
I love Crit now, but I wasn't when he was saying Crit early on.
You was like,
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, we have that, like, but then this artist, like, like some of the newer artists or something like that, we may like disagree on, but I'm listening to these cats every day. I'm looking at the charts. Just
so what you
naturally,
saying is
'cause
you
that's what
more
I do.
you're still
You trying to start a riff like this?
no. So
we ain't
look,
falling for that.
to piggyback off of that, amongst you all four, who's y'all Mount Rushmore of the One Music Fest
So far.
That we had already?
That's performed or that we want?
No,
okay.
that y'all performed. Like the best show. Who named the Mount Rushmore of performances over the past 50?
That would be an individual.
Okay.
We need 4 or 5 each.
Okay, so I go
Okay.
Dungeon, DMX, Kurt Franklin, and
Somebody from the West Coast. Watch y'all. Watch
and probably T-Pain.
Oh, whoa. What year? That was
Last year.
Oh, last year. I thought that was
T-Pain. He killed it.
okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to T-Pain. He was a guest on Storytime with legendary Jerry. Jay, who your Mount Rushmore? And Jay, that's 15 years of performances. 14 years. About to be 15.
Mount Rushmore of performances.
Janet.
You got to say Dungeon. Dungeon. That was. It was grown men crying out there.
Yeah.
Bro. Like that was a moment. Performance. Dungeon's one. I got to give Kendrick his flowers, bro. The first time we had Kendrick.
Oh, here we go.
First time we had Kendrick actually was in 2014. Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Before he was Kendrick.
But he was like, yo, I want to bring my band. I want to perform with a band. He was like, you want to perform with a band and a DJ? He said, yep. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, well, let's do it. He certified himself in my eyes as a
GOAT.
rock star.
Yeah.
I was like, this dude is about to be a problem. That was an amazing performance. I can't take nothing away. I'm gonna go to Lauren. Lauren, when we had us. No.
He said no. Motown said you go throw somebody eclectic in that.
But he's
yeah.
a hater. He's a Lauren hater. So,
but I gotta agree with you. That Lauren show was. I didn't think, to be honest, I didn't think she was gonna show up like that.
Her band literally said, "This is probably one of the best performances we have ever done."
Wow.
That performance when she brought her family on stage and she crushed it. She left it all on stage.
That was a great
night.
performance. That was a great performance.
Then stayed afterwards and kicked it, and that was a special one. And then I may have to go right behind Motown. I think like DMX was special.
Oh, that was special.
That was special because it also took a very long time to get him, and we found because he was personal issues.
Yeah, going through some stuff.
And then we caught him right when he was really was focused, was cleaning up, he was coming back. He was clear. He was so clear.
And you could tell from the performance.
And
okay.
And he passed soon after that. That fucked me up.
Yeah. Steve, who your
one performance that just stands out because we'll probably repeat a few of them was at Aaron's Amphitheater and Anderson .Paak was performing.
Oh wow, AP.
And
shout out to
he
AP.
literally performed every instrument on the stage while performing with clear breath. And I don't think I've ever seen that before, where he was playing the drums, then he'd go play another instrument, all while singing the music.
And sounding just like it. You
sounding
to
like
it.
the record.
That's very rare.
And the
That's
crowd
rare.
being engaged and going into it was amazing. Another performance, I think this was Central Park. When it just started, it was the Atlanta set, the ATL set, the Crunk set. DJ Nav.
Was that 28, 19, 18?
It was before. It was like 18.
Yeah, 18.
It was 18. Yeah, Nabs.
Shout out to my brother
And
Fowler, DJ Naps.
And a rare moment in OMF time, it started raining, but you couldn't ask for better timing ever.
As soon as
and it started raining, and everybody just lost it, bro.
Went crazy.
Bro, went crazy, bro.
Y'all had some moments, man, in this, some real moments, bro.
So,
yeah.
I'm gonna say, obviously Dungeon, rest in peace to Rico, right? But we didn't, the night that Jill came on after the Migos.
Yeah, dog.
She was literally in a zone.
Mm-hmm. And that's the
she
word.
took her shoes off. She had the
You
rug.
just said it, Troy. She was in a different zone.
She was in a different zone that night.
Yeah.
That one, and then and only because I got the videos and it was different going back through all the videos when we had to put together our virtual festival during COVID. And I'm going through all of it because we had to put out a virtual festival that year. And we were trying to figure out what were some of our best moments.
Yeah.
Yo, Busta and Spliff Star.
Oh, they always gonna bring it.
Yo, it was different. They were out of control. So those are a couple of highlights for me.
But ladies and gentlemen, as you all see, these gentlemen, One Music Fest, Together Land. Hey man, I just want to say I appreciate all y'all, man. And can't forget Miss Teresa. Miss Teresa Sanders. She Tony Kukoc coming off the bench. she the sixth man. She the sixth man. And before I get out of here, New Face, let me say this. And this ain't no pressure put on y'all. I just want to preface by saying that. I feel as though in my heart of hearts that y'all go get outcast. I feel, let me say this again, let me look at the camera. Jerry Clark, a.k.a. the legendary Jerry, if Big Boy and Andre 3000 ever come back together and do an Outkast show, it's going to be One Music Fest.
Well,
Yeah.
It's going to be One Music
So let me say this. So Motown made mention of it earlier. I don't want things to get misconstrued here. That Dre happening was all Rico.
Wow.
That was Rico.
Rico, I love
That was
you,
Rico.
Rest in
Yeah,
peace,
man.
Rico Wade. We love you,
That
man.
was all Rico. Rico, Lando, and Big is really the reason why the reunion happened. We will not take full credit for that at all. They are they were the catalyst behind that. But as far as that voice in Dre's ear, that's Rico. Rico's special, bro. Special.
Boy, I miss my brother. I love you,
yeah,
Rico
man.
Wade.
I want to give, props to Rico as well, but another one of our fallen soldiers. And I'll bring this CD out. You guys go through hiccups, and I remember something happened, and you had to call Clay, if I'm correct, right? Yeah. And I think could you tell that story about? And I think he helped bring this gentleman out to the stage, right?
We had a.
Shout out to Clay, OG
Yep.
Clay.
So
we
describe
love
that
him,
situation and
Yep.
how integral was
T.I.
Clay Evans to that.
Real quick, yep. Burna Boy burned us. You know what I'm saying? Burna Boy didn't show up. We on the phone trying to get him a private jet to get over here, and for whatever reason, I guess he just didn't want to make that trip to Atlanta.
Yeah.
But he ain't tell us at the last minute. And so we're racking our brains trying to figure out like who to get. And I said, let me call Clay. Not even on T.I., but let me just call my brother,
because that's
Clay.
how connected Clay
Exactly.
was.
Let me just call Clay.
Clay could get anybody.
And I'm on the phone with Clay. We're talking it through. And mind you, it might have been 3 o'clock. The festival's already in full swing, 3, 4 o'clock. And Clay said, let me call Tip and see what he got going on. It's Saturday, dog, at 3:30, 4 o'clock. I said, he could be drinking, hanging with the homies, smoke some with the family, or fishing on the boat. And so he said, let me call Tip. And he said, oh, wait, before I call Tip, how much money you talking about?
That's Clay. That's Clay.
That's OG Clay right there.
The
And
bag.
Tip came and performed, and the rest is One Music Fest history.
There you
Man,
go.
it turned it out, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
brought my mama to that one. And
So
to be honest-
T.I. will be the honorary Mount Rushmore.
Mister, I'm serious.
Because he crushed
Hey, man,
that.
well, y'all hear it here. Storytime with legendary Jerry. I am Jerry Clark.
New face was there, baby.
And we are here with the One Music Fest team. I just want to tell y'all thank you again. Motown, Jay, Steve, Troy. Hey, man, One Music Fest coming up. Dates about to be announced. Probably October-ish, the fall, late October.
Last weekend, October.
But make sure y'all support this company, this business, these guys, 100% Black owned, bringing the best of our culture to Atlanta and now Dallas. I'm probably sure maybe some other cities coming to you. Yeah, other cities. Storytime with legendary Jerry. We signing off each and every Wednesday. Make sure you check us out. One Music Fest, Togetherland. We out of here.
Jerry, you think this good for next year? I can use this old. I got
Hey, I don't know the way Motown be holding them motherfuckers close to them shit.
Hey, man.
these. Is we good? We out.
Don't do it like that.